Welcome, Royal Highnesses. I'm Dan, and you're watching Walt Disney World Adults Only. And today we've got a really, really exciting, fun evening for you, or afternoon if you're in America. So it's an evening here for us, and obviously the afternoon for you. So today we are going to be talking about designing our own Epcot World Showcase Pavilions, and I'm delighted to have a very special guest from another channel who I'll introduce you very shortly. And how many of you are there? Four of our lovely ladies from Walt Disney World Adults Only. So before we get started, let's do some introductions. Taylor, tell us where you're from and what you're drinking.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I am in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and today I just have a pineapple and strawberry seltzer. Nothing exciting.
What is a seltzer?
Like a sparkling water.
Oh, okay. That is nothing exciting. Courtney, come on. You are normally the one to kill us. Where are you from and what are you drinking?
I am coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I just went with the trusty favorite, Diet Coke and vodka.
Brilliant. Carol, whereabouts are you tonight? I know you're not at your own house because you've told me that already. So whereabouts are you and what are you drinking tonight?
Same city though. I'm in Utica, New York, and I am drinking my good old standby Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc.
Very nice. And Natalie, somebody a little bit closer to me who's also experiencing the thunderstorms tonight here, I guess.
Yeah, hi, I'm Natalie. I'm from South Yorkshire in England. As Dan was saying, it is very stormy here. We're also getting some localised flooding as well, so fun times. To help get through the night, I am drinking Kingfisher, although I'm trying to be a little bit more ladylike, and I've got it in my nice Disney glass.
Wow, ladylike. We've gone up a step tonight. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm in London in the UK and I'm working really early tomorrow, so I can't drink. So I have got a very, very boring Coke Zero. But yeah, that's me. So anyway, before we move on, let's introduce you to Douglas. Douglas is one of our friends from another channel, Carousel Douglas. Douglas, tell us where you're from, what you're drinking, and tell us all about Carousel Douglas.
Thanks, Dan. I'm Douglas. I run a channel called Carousel Douglas. I love the Carousel of Progress, and I know I'm crazy because I actually will ride it multiple times. And my wife and I love our adventures in Disney so much that and people were like constantly asking me for travel advice. So I was like, fine, I'm gonna put videos for it so I can just be like, here, go here, look at this. And so that started, and then I started realizing that I really enjoyed doing it. I live in the Philadelphia region. I live just outside of Philadelphia. I could literally walk across the border into the city of Philadelphia. And I'm actually drinking a local today. This is Workhorse. They're Campside Lager. They're from King of Prussia, which is like right down the street. And this is it's a smoked lager. It's rather fascinating.
Oh, wow.
I like this one. So
that sounds good.
Excited to be here with you guys today.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's really nice to have you with us. So it's great to have guests every now and then. And you're always welcome, Douglas, to join us if you're ever free. So, right, before we get started, please give us that thumbs up, click that like for us and subscribe. And also check out Douglas's channel as well, Carousel Douglas. That is linked in the description for you. So please go and check that out either now or after the show. Before we get started with the main show though, Natalie, are you going to tell us this week's Walt Disney World news?
Of course. So I've just taken the highlights because, of course, Disney comes out with multiple things all the time. So there was a new video release for the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser immersive experience, which is opening very shortly. I'm quite excited to see what's coming out of there. But the new video was two of the developers talking about the experiences and showing us some more of the images from inside the Star Cruiser or hotel. So quite exciting about that. And I also found out that we can actually find out more about the Star Cruiser before we get there, which is called the Halcyon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because there is a comic mini-series. So if anybody's planning on staying there, it might be worth investing.
Wow.
So yeah, does anybody actually have plans to go to the Star Cruiser?
Yeah, I do. Courtney's taking me as a gift.
My wife and I talked about that, and we're just like, oh my goodness. I mean, I actually looked it up. You could do 2 or 3 Disney cruises for the price of that Star Cruiser. And I'm like, I'd rather do the cruise. I think I'd rather do a real cruise.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I love Star Wars. I mean, I'm even wearing my Star Wars t-shirt today. But yeah, the price point is quite impressive. So I think it's going to be a wait for me as well. So the next bit, Capture the Moment photography is coming to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. These are 20-minute sessions that cost $79, and you can have up to 8 guests. They've been around the other parks for a little while, but they're finally coming to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Bookings are actually open now, although the sessions start at Epcot on the 24th of February and in Hollywood Studios on the 21st of March. Locations are in Epcot, we've got Germany, Italy, American Adventure, Japan and Morocco. And then at Hollywood Studios, the Hollywood Tower Hotel, which I think is going to be a really cool location. You can have photos with Gertie the dinosaur in Echo Lake, Chinese Theatre, Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. Has anybody had to capture the moment photography done?
I know Jackie did last
Jackie
trip,
did.
and she had amazing pictures. So I had never wanted to do it before then, but I think next time I might do it.
My wife wears these fantastically themed dresses, and was actually considering trying to get her one of those sessions so she could like have the themed dress taken with pictures in the areas that would go along with the theme. So I'm actually looking forward to trying one, but I've never done it yet.
That sounds cool. We'd really like to see those photos if you do get that done. They sound like they'd be really cool.
Right?
Yeah. And then the mask update. So starting on the 17th, masks are optional in indoor-outdoor areas for fully vaccinated guests. However, non-vaccinated guests are still required to wear them. And they are still required for all guests on enclosed transportation, such as Disney buses, monorails, and the Skyliner. So yeah, new mask update is coming through for everybody. And that brings us to the end of the highlights of the news.
Oh, okay. Wow. Thank you, Natalie. That's a good little update there for today. So thank you very much. Okay, on to the main event, which is going to be creating our own World Showcase Pavilion. And of course, we want everybody at home who's watching to join in as well and create your pavilion. This is a two-way thing. So make sure you join in. And all the points we're going to talk about, I want to hear about your pavilions as well. So everybody, please join in. Let's have a look what comments we've got. We've got a couple of people saying hi. We've got Jackie saying hi. Hi, Jackie. I don't know why Jackie's not here, actually. I think she did want to do this show, but then I think she got quite a lot of editing because she just done her first vlog series. I think she edited her vlogs today, so she's not here. Raymond, Nikki, Jackie said she did do the photo. So hi, Mickey, hi, Raymond. And Jackie said that the photo shoot was really fun, so that's cool. Right, let's crack on. So before we start, let's go back to my notes first, shall we? So let's see what we should be doing. Right, okay. So let's confirm which country are we building a pavilion for. So everybody at home, tell us in the comments which country would you like to see added to Epcot's World Showcase, and just give us the country for now. We're going to ask you the detail in a little while. So tell us which country you'd like to see built at Epcot, and we're going to start with Taylor. Taylor, what country are you going to be talking about today?
So I had a really hard time choosing between two, but I ended up going with Peru. And I'm going to apologize in advance for all of the poor Spanish that will be happening today.
Oh, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's a shame you're not drinking because it would have been even better.
Oh, it's going to be so bad.
Courtney, which country did you choose?
I fought to the death. And I chose Greece.
Yeah, you rubbed that off me, didn't you?
Should have won.
Natalie, what country are you going for today?
So on a similar theme to Courtney, I swept your second choice from under your feet there, and I've gone with India.
Cool. Douglas?
I figured that we needed a little bit of South Pacific representation, and I decided to go with Australia.
Ooh,
good choice.
Good choice.
And Carol, what did you choose?
I went with Egypt.
Egypt. Okay, that's good. Well, I went for my third choice, thanks to Courtney and Natalie, and I've gone for Thailand, which actually I'm really excited about because now I've done a bit of research and looking into it. I'm really into this Thailand, and it is actually now my first choice. So I'm glad that I was beaten up and robbed by Courtney and Natalie. So yeah, right. Who's in the comments, Courtney? Right, Jackie's doing Brazil. Anybody else going to tell us their choice before we get started? Okay, well, we'll tell us anyway. So let's start off then with the pavilion. Let's talk about how is the pavilion going to look? What is it going to have in it in terms of landmarks and theming and architecture? So the France Pavilion is very obviously French. It's got the Eiffel Tower and it's got the kind of the look of the French kind of the streets. The UK Pavilion looks nothing like England at all, really, unless you go back a couple of centuries. But so let's talk about how your pavilion is going to look. What are you going to have? Monuments, landmarks? How is it going to be identifiable as your country? And we're going to start with Carol.
Oh, good. So if I think of Egypt, I think of two things. I think of the Nile and I think of pyramids. So my actual outside structure, I think, would be the Sphinx.
Okay.
And running through it would be a waterway like the Nile. And then on sort of like because you said I could spend any amount of money, Dan, I asked, sort of like a skyliner inside, that the Nile wouldn't just be a boat ride, but be a transportation system to different pyramids. So you could get off at each stop, like you could get off at Cairo, you could get off at Luxor, the pyramids of Giza, and each thing would be different. So like Cairo would be the souvenir merchandise section, and someplace else might be the ride, and another place would be like the restaurant. Is that too much detail?
No, it's good. It's good. I like it.
Okay.
It's good. Douglas, tell us about Australia.
For me, I was like, there's one real, it's one real like interesting site that everyone knows, especially if you've ridden Soarin'. And I brought visual aids, sorry, because I'm trained like that. But I really feel that the Sydney Opera House should be like in the especially since when it shows up in Soarin', you have like it's such an iconic look that I think that people associate the Sydney Opera House with Australia. I also think that there should be a representation of the Aboriginals that are there, and they have this sacred mountain called Uluru, and I'll hold that up. Hopefully we can see that. And the Uluru Mountain, they're not even allowed to climb on it. It's so sacred to the Aboriginal people. But I think having the Sydney Opera House next to with the Uluru, like kind of built off from it, like you have the Sydney Opera House to the east of the pavilion, and then you have this in the west because this is more in the outback region of Australia. I tried to find something to represent Perth, but I really couldn't so we could have West Coast Australia, East Coast Australia, and Central Australia. But Perth's landmarks are more like their government buildings, and Disney doesn't like to put the government buildings in. So unfortunately I can't represent West Coast based on like the research that I was able to do. But I think that we could probably find something West Coast that would work really nicely for that pavilion. So you could have that kind of finishing. So you can have East, Central, and West Coast Australia.
I like it.
Yeah.
Courtney, tell us about Greece.
Okay, so the focal point is going to be Mount Olympus because, it's Greece. And it's going to have all of like the, it's going to be very heavy in like the Greek mythology. So we're going to do like the statues of the gods and the goddesses all around. I don't know how deep you want me to go as far as detail.
You can go as far as you like, Courtney.
Well, other details are going to be kind of revealed when we talk about other things as to like what we'll be using. So, but it's just going to be very Greek mythology based.
Are you going more for mainland Greece or the islands?
I don't know. Where's Mount Olympus?
It's Mount Olympus, but it's got Acropolis on the top.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going for. That right there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's in Athens, in mainland. Because I've been to see the Acropolis twice, so
I've never been to Greece. I don't know.
I might be able to help you out a little bit here. So yeah. Okay, cool. Taylor, Peru.
So I when you think of Peru, you think of Machu Picchu. That's what it is. So I thought to go like Incan temple, but the Incan temples look a whole lot like the Aztec temples that is already represented in Mexico. So I was like, I don't want to do that. So I think I would have it separated in two areas with like the Machu Picchu with like the Incan citadel sort of either, I don't know if I would want it in ruins necessarily, but represented somehow. And then where the majority of everything in the pavilion would be a representation of the city of Cusco, because of they have these really bright red tiled roofs that are just so noticeable and unique. And then, there's different cathedrals and churches that I think could be the central focus of that. And then these were like before, takeovers, whatnot. These buildings were covered in gold sheets, like everything was gold. So I think like having the golden roofs and the golden statues and golden pieces would make it even more like rich looking. So that was my idea.
That's good, I like it. Peru.
I do too.
Thanks.
Natalie, let's go to India next.
Yep. So I was thinking about it, and when you think of India, the most iconic thing is probably the Taj Mahal. I would assume most people would think of that pretty much straight away. So my vision of my pavilion is quite a dense, rich forest at the front that kind of hides the pavilion. There's lots of wildlife calls and stuff like that, although I'm not going to pinch Animal Kingdom. There won't actually be wildlife there. You have to meander through the path, seeing the different trees and stuff like that they have. And then you go through and it reveals a rather large Taj Mahal type building. In India, there's a lot of steeped into their history and culture and religions and everything like that. And there's some other really cool temples as well, such as like the Golden Temple. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce its proper name, but the Golden Temple, which is a beautiful building that literally shimmers in the sunshine and looks like pure gold. So I was thinking of having other miniature temples with explanations of their impact in society and culture around it, with the Taj Mahal taking centerpiece.
Wow, that's very good. You thought that through well. Cool. Right, on to Thailand. So I've got my notes, so I will just keep glancing down if that's all right. So my first thought was to go for the Grand Palace in Bangkok, but it's very kind of gold, and it looks very similar to the China Pavilion. So I kind of wanted to move away from that. And so I chose three things I would quite like to have in my pavilion. So first of all, I'd like the Emerald Lagoon from Ang Thong Marine Park. And this is a really, really gorgeous kind of bright green lagoon, which on a really sunny day would make a really, really good backdrop. And it'd have to be done on a smaller scale and probably use some kind of false perspective as well. But it would just be such a stunning area just to sit and be calm and relax. So I wanted to go for that first of all, the Emerald Lagoon. And then, I'm going to have to try and pronounce this, Wat Arun in Bangkok is a really, really unique looking temple. It's so beautiful and so different to anything else at Epcot. I thought, well, this is the one that we're going to have. It's one of the most unique Buddhist temples in the world, and it's situated on the Chao Phraya River. So it would look really kind of quite nice next to the lagoon. And then I found this really, really stunning temple which is in Thailand, which is called Wat Rong Kun, which is located in Chiang Rai. And it's probably the most stunning temple in the whole of Thailand. It looks like a fairy tale castle. It's pure white and silver, and it just glistens. It's so, so stunning. So it was only built in 1997, so it's still quite modern, and it's got a crystal clear lake around it, which is just absolutely stunning. The reflection in the lake looks so great. I thought it'd be a really good spot. So as we get into this and we start talking about rides and stuff, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to put where and stuff. But yeah, so I wanted the three icons really for the Thailand pavilion. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's a really great idea. So let's have a quick look at our comments, shall we? Who we got chatting to us?
All right. Let's see. Jackie, she wants two. She wants to design two countries. So
No, Jackie, you can only design one country.
I think that that comment with the African nations, I actually South Africa actually has some pretty awesome like icons and locations, and of course you can always find Mount Kilimanjaro and find a great way to put that in there too. So I like that idea with the African nations. That's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, Douglas, but she's not having two.
She chose Brazil and she has to stick with Brazil.
She can have Brazil or she can have Africa. She's not having both. Carol hasn't got that much money to pay for two. Who else have they got commenting? Let's have a look.
Mickey, she says she has no imagination, couldn't think of one, but she likes the idea of India.
Yeah, India's good. Then we've got Jackie saying she wants the Sugarloaf Mountain and the beaches. Kenya structures that look similar to AKL. She's still going with the two. Look at her. Look. No, Jackie. One. Raymond, Greece is going to be really cool. Come on, Raymond. Tell us what country you'd like to see represented. And then we've got Jen from the Magic in the Music. This is a good friend of Douglas's in real life, I believe. Douglas,
hi, Jen.
And Jen has got a really, really lovely channel. It's really cool. So if anyone's watching and you want to check out some really good park vlogs, go and check out Jen, and she's really, really great with DVC advice as well.
Oh, yeah.
She's got lots of DVC.
She helped me.
She knows her stuff.
Oh yeah, she does.
So,
she helped me with my DVC. She's fantastic. If you want to know anything about DVC, you got to go to her channel.
Yeah, go to her channel. She honestly, it's her niche. She's found her niche. And then Nikki just says she loves all these concepts. Right, so let's move on. And let's get stuck straight in with the ride or attraction you're going to have in your pavilion. So, what will your ride be? Any particular IP? Carol, what's IP?
Oh, you told me. Intellectual properties.
Yeah,
So-
well done. Tell us how the ride will work. Will it be Genie Plus or Lightning Lane? What's the theming going to be like? What's the key? What's the concept? Tell us about your ride, and we'll go to you, Natalie.
Okay. So I'm thinking about just a really classic Disney dark ride, because who doesn't like a classic dark ride, And I was thinking of theming around the Jungle Book, which is supposed to be set in one of the forests in India. So I was thinking you go into the queue and there's going to be kind of like interactive statues of the main character, so you can take some photos of you going around and everything like that, because we all love a selfie. So taking that, and then it's just going to be your typical dark ride going through the different little scenes of the Jungle Book, featuring lots of the cool songs and things like that, such as my favourite one, which is obviously The Bare Necessities.
Are you going to sing that for us now?
No. As much as I love music and I love playing music, you do not want to hear my singing voice.
I've got my piano.
We do.
And that would be the main ride and attraction. I would be thinking that it'd probably be like a Genie Plus type ride, but probably wouldn't be Lightning Lane. Saving that for the coming soon Guardians attraction.
Cool.
And that's what I would think about for the main ride.
Douglas, tell us about your ride in your Australia pavilion.
All right, so I'm a child of the 80s, and Rescuers Down Under, intellectual property, and I think that you could make an amazing trackless ride, with the scooting around and avoiding these, and doing all, and watching out for all the villains, and flying on the duck goose. I always forget what he is. I always forget, but that helper seagull something, I can't remember, because I'm in the moment, and but I think that you could really make a really awesome trackless ride using the Rescuers Down Under property. And I think that it would definitely probably end up being one of those, being a Lightning Lane. Like, I think because they seem to be doing that with the trackless rides, so they would make it one of the the premium Lightning Lanes. It may even start with a virtual queue. I think actually they seem to like those too. But I think you could really use that IP very well to make a ride that people would want to see, and especially people like me who remembered watching that cartoon as a small child. So
yeah, I remember it too. Carol, tell us about your Egyptian ride, and I'm going to guess it's inside a pyramid.
Yes. So, as I said, the pyramid's going to be huge and have smaller structures within it. And you walk in and you have to get on the Nile River, and you're going to go to different places. And one of these places would be, I don't know, maybe the Valley of the Kings would be where the ride is. And the ride is going to be, because, you know, if it ain't broke, why fix it? It's going to be sort of a cross between Flight of Passage and Soarin', but on a carpet. You're going to be doing a magic carpet type ride, because even though Aladdin didn't take place in Egypt, they did travel to Cairo at one point. So I figure, you know, we can have that Aladdin influence there. And so it would be, you know, viewing the different pyramids from the top, going along the Nile River, seeing the wildlife. So it'd sort of be a Soarin' type ride, but a little more thrills like Flight of Passage.
Sounds very good. Courtney next.
So I also kind of ripped off Flight of Passage. I mean, just because, you know, I think Epcot needs some more exciting rides, you know, add in a Flight of Passage. Like Carol said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But so in the movie Hercules, because there's gonna be a lot of Hercules influence in the Greece Pavilion. I've already talked to Disney, they've cleared it. And so we're actually the ride is going to be inside the Temple of Zeus. And that is where Hercules first met Pegasus. So yes, you'll be riding on a Pegasus, and just going on a magical ride through ancient Greece, seeing all of its wonder.
Oh, wow, that sounds good.
I love that.
Sign me up.
I'm sold.
Yeah, that's great.
Sign me up.
We'll all ride together.
I just while we're doing this, anyone that's watching as well, please tell us your ideas for rides as well in your own pavilions. We'd love to have your ideas. Just before I come to you, Taylor, we've got a comment on there from James. He's asking, is this actually happening or is this just a fun brainstorm? James, sadly, this isn't actually happening. This is just a bit of fun to work out what our pavilions would look like. So each of us have got our own country with like a pavilion form. We're just talking about kind of what we would do if we was able to build it. So this isn't actually happening, sadly. Although I think it should, definitely.
I think Disney watches this and they're going to get so many great ideas, and one of these will come to life.
I mean, they have so much space. They have so much space that, like, if you look at the downward, like a satellite map, you can see they actually have room for, like, I think it's 4 they have still room for. It's crazy. So they need to come up with something.
Yeah. Taylor, tell us about your ride.
All right, I'm going full out thrill. I'm going indoor coaster based on Emperor's New Groove, which is not represented at all in Disney, and it needs to be. So this would be like, obviously we haven't read the Galactic Star, no, wrong. What's the Guardians of the Galaxy one? The
Cosmic Rewind.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Cosmic Rewind. We haven't read that, but there's that like storytelling coaster idea is what I'm going through. But you're gonna be riding in like llama carts. And it's gonna feature the major scenes from the movie. So like the Jaguar jungle attack, and one of the main hills will be the waterfall that they go down, and you know you're gonna hear Cusco yelling "Booyah!" as you go down it. And
I also need to hear Yzma yelling "wrong lever" because that.
Well, that's number 2. The number 2, I'm taking off the influence from Universal, from the Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, when you go backwards and then you drop, the whole track drops. So that's when it's going to be the like pull the lever and you drop and you hear wrong lever. And then you can keep going. So I picked Peru completely off of this idea, totally. But you're also going to hear the like Perfect World song and the song that was not used in the movie but is amazing called Snuff Out the Light that Yzma sings. It's so good. And I'm thinking the queue will go through Kuzco's golden temple that he like wants to build and is living in like Kuzco land. And this will obviously be a lightning lane attraction.
I am totally sold on this idea.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Cool.
Have I done everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Thailand, and I'm going with Araya and the Last Dragon themed ride. Now, this wasn't actually set in Thailand. It was set in a fantasy land called Kamandra, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
But it's based on Southeast Asian countries, of which Thailand is one. So I'm linking it in. I'm having it. And I want a water ride. So Epcot doesn't really have like a proper water ride where you get wet. It's got a couple little boat rides, living with the land, and those free.
You're gonna say ducks. You're
Yeah,
like
that's what I was gonna say.
what you were gonna say. I could tell.
Yeah.
Three Caballeros.
That's
Good.
the one, Carol.
Grand
I
Fiesta
was
Tour.
just testing you. It doesn't have like a proper water ride. So this is going to be a Raya ride, and it's going to be an adventure. And it's going to be something completely different. So it's going to be themed around the 5 different lands in Kamandra. Kamandra. How do you say that? Kamandra. Well, however you say it.
Like that.
And then, so it's going to
I
be
think you
Fang,
kind of
Heart,
like it.
Spine, Talon, and Tail. They're the 5 lands, and this ride's going to take you through. It's going to be interactive, and people that are in the kind of ride vehicle are going to have to make decisions as part of a mission. And those decisions, when they press different buttons, affect what happens on the ride. So you affect your own ride on it. It's not just get on and you just go. This is going to have different outcomes. And if you do not complete the mission properly, you get soaked.
Ooh.
Absolutely soaked. So you basically determine your own destiny through your own decision making. It's a water ride with a mission, interactive make decisions, and the mission will get different endings. A little bit like, not like, but like the Star Tours where they can kind of figure it out to do different things. This would have different outcomes, and the ride vehicle would go different ways in effect, depending on what you do. And of course, I'm going to install some of those big heaters outside where we can kind of charge a few dollars to get people dry afterwards to make a bit extra money for Disney. So I'm thinking from a business point of view as well that we can get it. So there's an incentive to pass the mission, and all themed around Raya, and you can get very, very wet with lots of different outcomes. One outcome would be a drop, one outcome would be getting soaked, one outcome would be something else. So yeah.
That's
And how
cool.
big is this ride vehicle? I mean, how many people are in it? Do I have to rely on the kindness of strangers not to get wet?
Carol, all I'll say is if we're in it together, you are going to get wet. Because I will make sure we do not pass the mission.
He sabotages
Well,
the
then I'm
mission.
making sure you're wearing ears as we do it.
So yeah, so that's my ride. Have we got any comments? Let's have a look. Jackie, fine. She's going to Kenya. A flight of
Solid
passage
choice.
type ride that's hang gliding over the savannah and catching up the characters from The Lion King. Well, that's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
James is a little bit disappointed that we got him a bit excited. But James, tell us about your country. What pavilion do you want to design? Tell us what ride you want to make as well. We'd love to hear from you. So, Raymond, he loves the Pegasus idea. I better hear Paul the Lever Cronk, wrong lever. And Nikki says, interesting idea, Dan. Nikki, you'd be getting wet as well, girl, I'll tell you that. Right, let's crack on. Let's do snacks and drinks together, shall we? Oh, no, let's do shows.
You're going in different order here, Dan.
I'm going different order. Let's do shows. Okay, so let's talk about shows, entertainment, and music. Douglas, you should be the expert on the music because this is what you do. So we'll start with you. And we're looking at street shows, cultural shows, exhibitions, performers, music, background music for the pavilion. Tell us about the music.
Well, I think one of the main things that they definitely need to incorporate is, because it's actually amazing if you ever get a chance to listen to it, is the Aboriginal tribal dance music, especially with the didgeridoo work and the drumming and the flutes. They have such a culture of wind instruments, especially like flutes and the didgeridoos that are built into their culture, along with like the singing and dance. And I think, especially if I'm going to have that Uluru Mountain, I think they should get like a stage somewhere near there where you can see traditional music and performance of that kind of thing. I think having that kind of influence there would be, especially since it's purely Australian. I mean, we're talking about no one else's culture sounds like the Aboriginal music, and it just having the ability to have people really experience something that's authentically Australian be great. And you can easily put that in the background, because they have a lot of like in the background music, they have a lot of the softer meditative music, because meditation is a major part of their culture. So having that kind of stuff in the background would be a fantastic way to do that. And I think you could also incorporate that into having like like Norway and China have those like art museums where you have like original art and things like that. I think they could have like a cycling art museum for either for the original like colonists to the original colonists to Australia, as well as having Aboriginal artwork that kind of cycles in and out of it. So you could have those kinds of things displayed in there, and I'm sure that would be a great way to kind of represent all the culture that came into Australia.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Smart.
Courtney.
Okay, so I think Greece should infiltrate the entire World Showcase. Let me tell you how. Okay, so you guys know Pain and Panic from the Hercules movie, right?
Yeah.
And they just like to cause all kinds of little troubles, whatever Hades sends them off to do. So, okay, like I know that DuckTales is replacing the Perry the Platypus thing, but I think Perry should stay. And because, I mean, he can always take care of Doofenshmirtz. He needs a new challenge. And Pain and Panic are going to create all kinds of troubles around the World Showcase, and Agent P needs to stop them. But this entertainment game, I guess you could call it for lack of a better word, Pain and Panic are actually played by real players. So you have the option to be either the good side or the bad side. So if you want to cause the problems, then you choose to, play as Pain and Panic. And if you decide to stop the troubles, then you play as Agent P. So that's like the Agent P players have to try and locate the Pain and Panic players. Does that make sense? Are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I realize I'm not really explaining this very well, but in my head, it's awesome.
So it's kind of like you're thinking it kind of like the hacking in Galaxy's Edge, right? Where like you have a new group could win every time. Is that what you're saying? Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you're playing with actual people that are there also playing. So it's a very involved game.
Okay.
So that's just like the entertainment part, but the music and stuff like inside the pavilion is going to just be very like traditional Greece. There's going to be like breaking plates and belly dancers, because why not?
Wow. and on that belly dancing note, Taylor, I'm sure you'll be applying for that role if it comes out and is advertised.
I think she'd be great.
So for Peru, I just went with we could have a little stage set up somewhere in like the central plaza to showcase Peruvian dance. There are a lot of different dances that come from Peru that are so many Spanish words, and I put them down here and didn't look up how to say them. One is Peruvian.
If you
Walt.
can't pronounce them, Taylor, just show us how they are. Just stand up and show us.
One, I do know one. It is like a lot of the dances are like a man and a woman, and they're like flirting in the dance. So they'll be doing their dance steps. In one, they have like cloth, and they're like waving the cloth, and those are supposed to be like birds. So that's one. And then like the waltz and there's like a stepping sort of dance as well. And then the music would just be like the traditional music you'd hear in Peru that has influences from Andean, Spanish, and African cultures. So that's the type of music from Peru. So I just think like a dance show. I can't really think of like a dancing showcase in World Showcase. So I think that would be really cool.
Cool. Thank you, Natalie.
So my idea is also a dancing show.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've ever seen Indian dancers, but it is just so beautiful with all the different colours and the moves, and it's just so different to what I would class as like the traditional English or like the ballet and stuff like that you would see. It's just really beautiful to watch. As I was doing a little bit of research for this, I found there's actually 5 different styles of Indian dance that have all originated from the different areas and things like that. So I thought that perhaps it could be like a set of 5 dancers throughout the day with different shows, each one showcasing a different area and a different original dance thing.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that was my idea.
Thank you. For Thailand, I've just said that I would
What
quite like
about
some...
me?
Oh, I'm going to come to you next.
Oh, ladies before gentlemen.
Exactly. Hence why I was going fast. So for Thailand, Carol, thank you very much. I was going to do background music in the pavilion, just traditional Thai sounds, kind of Buddhist, soft music to kind of relax people in the pavilion. And then I know this is really boring, but I really like the show in China, the 360-degree show where you learn about China and see China. I don't want it to be 360 degree, but I want to kind of show about Thailand, about the culture and about kind of the different parts of the islands and stuff. So yeah, I want a bit of an educational show in there. Anyway, Carol, you can now carry on.
Well, I only wanted to go next because I was in the dancing theme too. So
Oh,
I
come
thought
on,
we
you
could-
cheeky little thing,
it
tell
would
us.
segue into that. So stick with me because this is. So I did for the first time on this last trip the animation experience at the Rafiki. I can never say his name. Planet Watch.
Rafiki Planet Watch.
Thank you. And that's I still have wine left. So it was just so amazing to learn how to do that skill. I mean, the drawing came out. You knew who it was. It wasn't perfect, but it was really, really cool. So I thought to do that same sort of teaching experience, sort of using like belly dancing, and instead of just having professional belly dancers giving a show, was to have a teaching how to belly dance.
Wow.
They definitely want to see me do that.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be. I think people would be like wetting themselves laughing so much. So I think it
I would
be
totally
fun.
do it, but I would totally do that. That's a great idea, but I'm just like, people are gonna be like, what is that guy doing?
I think I would have to go visit the Mexico Pavilion first for a margarita
Oh, definitely.
and then head over.
Oh, Carol, you're hilarious. I'll come to you first for the next category, shall I? So we're going to move on to snacks and drinks. So snacks, what type? Anything unique or specific? The kind of price point, and drinks, what type? Anything unique, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, hot drinks? And Carol, as you made such a little fuss about doing this last time, we'll start with you now.
Yeah, sure you will. Okay, hold on. I'm flipping my phone to where I'm going here. So the problem with Egypt is the cuisine is very similar to Morocco.
Yes.
There are tea is the national drink, and they have several teas. And the majority is, religion is Muslim, so they tend to avoid alcohol. But this is Epcot, and how can you drink around the world without? But they do have several alcoholic beverages. And so you're going to find things sort of sweetened with dates and honey and almonds.
They have so like the quick service would have wait, I have it here. My pronunciation just to stand with goulash. It's phyllo pastry dough stuffed with different meats and cheeses, so that'd be a nice little quick to go thing. And then yeah, just some alcohol drinks, but they'd be more on the sweet side. That's all I got. This was that was my toughest category because of Morocco.
Cool. Let's go to Douglas next. Australia.
Okay, so
Good day, mate.
I'm going to preface this that I absolutely love Survivor Man. And Survivor Man did an Outback special once, and he talked about basically this hunt that he went on for a specific type of food. And then he said that it was a common thing that people in Australia ate. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way that this is a common thing. And then when I was doing research for this, it really is a common thing because it tastes like peanut butter. So I want to make sure that I'm prefacing this because I'm about to show everybody a picture of a Australian delicacy called a witchetty grub.
Oh,
No.
That's a no from me.
Oh, I know. I knew everyone's going to freak out. But I actually found out that this is a common thing to eat in Australia. And I was like, no, someone's pulling my leg. No, it really is a thing. They dig them out of the trees. There's a way they find like where they are in the tree. You pull them out and you cook them over the fire and they taste like peanut butter. And I was
try it.
I totally would try it because I'm crazy. The other thing but for people who don't want to try witchetty grubs,
which is everybody apart from Carol.
I did find that macadamia nuts are native to Eastern Australia, so having macadamia nut snacks, I think, would be a great way to do that. I personally love macadamia nuts. There's also Tim Tams. Tim Tams are a chocolate malt biscuit with chocolate filling that are dipped in chocolate, and so I think having a Tim Tam might be a nice alternative. You can eat them with your witchetty grubs, chocolate peanut butter. And then the final snack I think that should be available, like a quick grab, is Vegemite on toast. It's a savory spread, much like Marmite in Britain, and but apparently Vegemite is like they swear it's better than Marmite. I'm not going to get into that debate for you, Dan, but or Natalie either. But but I think that if you have those four things and you offer that one weird thing, because like Japan has the weird chips and stuff, and they also have like the dried crabs. You know what I'm talking about? So why not have witchetty grubs in Australia?
Cool, strict, mate. Blown us away with that one. Natalie, do you want to try a witchetty grub?
No.
Oh.
I'm not even in the slightest bit interested.
Where's all your senses of adventure?
Not here. I can attest though that Tim Tams are delicious. One of the nurses at work is Australian, and she brought some back for us from her last trip, and they are amazing. So yeah, if you ever get the chance to try one, definitely get one. So yeah. So for the India Pavilion for drinks, there is of course going to be chai, which originates from India, which is like a sweetened tea beverage. Being English, tea is always good, so why not a sweetened tea? I think people will go quite crazy for that. And then there's also the more alcoholic ones, such as what I'm drinking tonight, which is Kingfisher, which according to the label on the bottle is the #1 lager of India. I knew it was pretty good. It's what I drank when I was out there as well. A couple of other beers such as Cobra and Tiger and things like that as well. In regards to snacks, what I'm picturing is actually a little snack cart that is basically like a tuk-tuk type design, because obviously what you picture and everything like that. And that would be selling what is locally known as Indian ice cream, which is where I started reading here, which is actually called kulfi. No idea if I'm pronouncing that right.
That's right.
And it's an Asian frozen dessert. It's a bit more dense and thicker than an ice cream, and it's really, really rich. It is delicious. It's almost got like a frozen custard type consistency to it, and you kind of add extra flavorings into it as well. So I thought that'd be really cool that people could have the base and then add their flavors onto it as well as you're going around to add some extras in there as well. Yeah, that's my snacks and drinks for the India Pavilion.
Thank you. Taylor.
So this is, of course, the thing I spent the most time on. We're all shocked. So I went for snacks. In Peru, one of their main snacks is they pop different types of corn. So I think like bags of these different corn types, some of them are huge. Like when they pop, you would have to bite them in several bites. It's not just like a pop into your mouth sort of thing. And they pop quinoa and they pop different things. So I thought that would be an interesting, and you can really, they're all roasted in oil and salted. Yeah, I think it sounds really good. They also, a huge snack in Peru is fried banana chips. So another like quick grab and go option, they salt them. So it's like the sweet and salty. They also have something called tequeños, which is wonton dough that is just filled with like cheese, ham, chicken, or really they said whatever you want, you could fill these wontons with. And then they also have this, it's a peanut snack, and it's a peanut, and then they, like, I don't know, shake them, but it turns it into like a crunchy cookie shell on the inside. So I'm thinking like peanut M&Ms minus the chocolate. So it's like a cookie-ish shell on the outside with the peanut on the inside. So those are like the most popular snacks that I could find. As for drinks, non-alcoholic, you're gonna do the Inca Cola, which is the biggest selling soda in Peru, along with, they do a purple corn drink. So they boil purple corn with pineapple skin, cinnamon, cloves, and sugar. So it's just this like bright purple drink.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'll just like walk around with it. Fresh fruit juices that are sweetened with honey, a carob extract, and nectars. Those are really popular. And then you get into alcoholic drinks. And pisco, which is a brandy, is the alcohol of Peru. And the national drink is the Peruvian pisco sour. So it's pisco with lime juice, syrup, ice, egg white, and bitters. So obviously that will have to be available. There are 3 major beer brands in Peru. There is a fermented corn beer, and of course wines, because like Chile, the growing in Peru is very good. So there's lots of very good wines from Peru as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Courtney.
Okay, so I'll start with drinks. The Greeks take their coffee very seriously, as I learned. So as much as I love Joffrey's, we are going to have to make space for another coffee stand. They've got all kinds of really fun espressos and things that they make. So it sounds really good, and I am totally on board for it. And they also do a lot of wine. So there'll also be some wine offerings. But they have their biggest drink. I'm going to butcher it, I know. And I even wrote down how to like phonetically say it. But ouzo, I think is how it's said.
Ouzo, yeah.
Where it tastes like licorice, apparently.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm with Dan on that one.
Thick.
And from what I understand, it's really strong. So it just takes a couple and you're goners if you're not used to it.
Dangerous.
Yeah, but I'm totally down. If you know. And then as far as snacks, for like a sweet option, went with the traditional baklava. Very common, very popular, and who doesn't love baklava? And then for more savory, we're gonna do spanakopita and also tiropita, which is just cheese wrapped in phyllo. I'm here for it. Put it all in my mouth.
Okay, so on to Thailand. I'll start with my snacks. So I've got a little menu of things we're going to sell. So we're going to start with Nang Kai Tod, then Tod Man Pla, and then Tod Man KO Pod, and then Roti Sai Mei. So 4 different snacks I'm going to offer
What are they?
That's what I want to know.
Oh.
Literally just saying words.
Okay, so the first one, Carol would really like, I'm sure. It's
Is it
chicken
purple?
skin fried. No, it's not purple. It's
Oh.
fried chicken skin. Very hard
Skin?
and crispy and flavorful. Yeah, the skin of the chicken.
So it's like
fried.
pork rinds.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like that.
No,
Then Thai
I'll
fish
take the
cakes.
grubs.
Then Thai fish cakes. Then Thai corn fritters, which are made with corn, with pork, shrimp, or tofu.
That sounds good.
And then the last one, roti sai mei, is cotton candy pancakes. How good do they sound?
Mm.
Whoa.
Pancakes
I'm gonna
filled
look
with
that up.
cotton candy. Yeah. Yeah, and actually, when I come to America next, you should make me some.
Ha!
I don't even know what they are.
So they're my snacks, and then for drinks, I've got Nam and Chan, which is butterfly pea tea, which is made with dried blue pea flowers, and this is like a really traditional thing to make tea with these pea flowers. It can also be used to make lemonade, limeade, and also a blue milk drink as well. So I thought, well, that would be quite cool. Then they do sugar cane juice, which is a sweet viscous liquid. It's quite milky and gloopy, but it gives you a real sugar rush. And they say to sip it really slowly because it can like really knock you out. So sugar cane juice. And then we've got Mekong Thai Spirit, which is like a rum, but it's distilled from 95% molasses. So it's going to be super duper sweet. Then they do a pink milk called Nom Yen, which is very popular now. Coconut water, obviously, and they make cocktails with coconut water as well, which is really cool. I love coconut water. And then they've got two beers, Chang and Singer beers as well. So from Thailand, they're Thai beers. We can actually get those here in London as well. So, did you get them in America, those beers?
The second one.
Yeah,
I
Singer.
can't say. Yeah, that one we have
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, okay, cool.
Dan,
Let's
Dan, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just realized that I was supposed to do the drinks too. I'm sorry, I don't know your format. I apologize.
That's okay. Go on, do your drinks now.
I apologize. I have Australia has a brand of beer that's apparently so popular that they actually make a homebrew kit for it, and more like that for later. But it's called Cooper's, and so they have all different styles. It's called Cooper's, and they have like I was looking through their list of styles. It's like there's like 20. And and so I think having Cooper's would be a great one to bring in. And then already in the States, so it's easy for them to get, is Yellowtail Wines. Yellowtail Wines, they have a lot of different styles, and you can get those. That's sorts of the kangaroo on the label. And then you also have for non-alcoholic, you have a company called Bundaberg that makes a ginger beer that's apparently like perfect. And then if you want to make a whiskey cocktail with it, you can easily do that too. So, but the Bundaberg ginger beer, and then the final thing, and I'm being quick, I apologize, is Archie Rose Gin. Apparently, it's used in everything, and like they make all kinds of mixed drinks with it. And so I apologize for missing that in my segment. I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's okay, no worries at all. Let's have a quick look at the comments we've got on the screen. So, go on, Taylor, where did we get up to?
I don't know where we last left off, but we're big no on the grubs from Raymond.
Although Nikki says she'd try them.
Yeah.
There you go. Mickey and I will have them together.
Kenyan coffee and dishes and desserts, love their use of spices. Jen says she needs something from South America, so Brazil. Have some amazing food, all kinds of grilled meats, and also a bird show. I assume she needs feathered birds, like an Animal Kingdom. I need some, what can I say?
Capybaras, the largest rodent in the world.
Oh, okay. I never heard
Like a
of that.
giant guinea pig.
They're cute.
Yeah.
They're super cute.
Cool.
And super chill.
Gambling. Hi, Gambling. Nice to see you with us today. I agree. Brazil makes the most sense, as they could have a Brazilian barbecue restaurant. That'd be quite good. And they could have a cheese bread stand. Right. Anyway, we're running out of time, so we're going to have to combine restaurants. We're going to do quick service and table service separately, but if you're okay, we're going to just do restaurants. Taylor, as if by magic, dining options. Let's start with you, Taylor.
So, I didn't have much for quick service, so that kind of works out. So I'm just going to talk about table service. I read that if you don't eat ceviche when you're in Peru, you didn't really go to Peru. So ceviche would be the main I don't know if there'd be like a restaurant, but it would be mostly like a seafood restaurant with ceviche, which if you don't know is raw fish that's cured in fresh citrus juices. So that's how it's cooked.
Yeah.
And then it's with chili peppers and other seasonings, chopped onions, salt, and coriander and Peru. So that would be the main option. There'd be several different types, but there would also be, they do these bowls they make with either Peruvian corn, potatoes, or yucca, and then you top it with olives, eggs, sauces, and queso fresco. So I think that would be an interesting option. Also, grilled meats, chicken, octopus, seafood on skewers. They do risottos there, and then for desserts, you're gonna do like purple corn pudding for Carol, tres leches cake, sweet rice pudding, and then they do a deep fried butternut squash donut. I think.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Natalie, please. India.
Yep. So I was thinking for my more quick service options, they would probably do the masala dosa, which is kind of a crepe or pancake type outer casing, which is made from rice, flour, and lentils, and then it has potatoes in the middle with different sauces that can make it quite spicy, which I think sounds amazing. And also the dal makhani, which is a soup-like food that's made from stewing lentils and added loads of different spices as well. So I thought that'd be great for a quick service that you could kind of grab it and go and everything like that. And then for my table service, I was going to go for, of course, some curry. Because you can't have India without having curry. And I thought there's just all the different options and ways that they can serve it as well. That it would be perfect to actually sit down and enjoy a really good meal.
Thank you. Douglas.
So for my quick service restaurant, I kind of planned out the menu with like apparently pea and ham soup is very, very popular. Like it's literally just called pea and ham. So I mean, not much else to it. They also have barbecued snags, and that's apparently their version of sausage, but it's with lamb and pork instead of like beef and pork, which is more common here in the States. And then they had another thing it's called a Dagwood dog, and I was like, is this just gonna be a hot dog? No, it's basically like a more savory version of a corn dog. So it's a batter dipped corn dog, and they put a tomato sauce on it at the end. So it's called a Dagwood dog, and it's apparently on a stick. So you batter it, fry it, stick it on a stick, which always sells in theme parks. Then there's apparently just like meat. There's something called meat pies, it's called a dog's eye, and it basically is just it's got like a pastry dough around random meat, but you let some of it come out the center, and so they call it a dog's eye because of the way it looks. But apparently, like, you're not Australian if you don't eat meat pies. And then last savory thing is a hamburger with beetroot. Instead of having like vegetable like lettuce, tomato, onion, they apparently eat the hamburger with cheese and a slice of beetroot on the top of it. And for dessert at the quick service, I go with what's called a lamington. It's a sponge cake with chocolate and desiccated coconut, and it has a layer of jam in between. So it's called a lamington. And I'll quickly go through like my table service idea is that for appetizers, I think the table service restaurant would need salt and pepper calamari. Apparently it's and prawn cocktails. They apparently are very big on the seafood with their appetizers. For the main course, one of the options was what's called a barramundi fish. And I've actually had barramundi fish. They sell it here frozen in the local BJ's, and I've actually made it like it's BJ's Wholesale Club. It's kind of like Costco or other place, or like Walmart, Sam's Club. And then the other option, and I couldn't believe it was a thing, and it is apparently, is grilled kangaroo with a rosemary garlic sauce.
No.
So it's apparently a real thing, like kangaroo farmers and everything. So it's
I've eaten kangaroo before.
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
It was fine.
So
it's fine.
And then the final thing is a dessert called Pavlova, named after Anna Pavlova, a Russian ballerina who came to Australia in 1920. It was apparently like to honor her coming. It's a meringue dessert with a light crust, and they decorate it with fruit and whipped cream. And apparently Australia and New Zealand fight over who invented it. And Australia claims that they invented it, and everyone apparently has a version of a pavlova cake. So I think that we'll end with that.
Cool, thank you. Courtney.
Okay, so for quick service, it's going to be very much things that you can hold in your hand and walk. So we're going to focus on gyros and kebabs because why not? And then as far as table service, it's going to be inside the Parthenon because Parthenon. And they're going to serve traditional Greek dishes, moussaka, and what's the other one I was thinking of? The flaming cheese, saganaki. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because Opa. And there was another dish that I was trying to figure out exactly what it was, but it also wrapped in phyllo and had meat inside. But I don't know exactly what it's called.
They do quite a lot of little things like that in Greece. Different phyllo things with different meats and
it had like lamb
and
inside. It looked really good, but I couldn't ever like find what the actual name of it was. And then like there's going to be a roasting lamb somewhere in the restaurant because they roast lambs on a stick in their front yard apparently. And it's a normal thing.
Thank you
for telling me where the Saganaki on fire from Wine Bar George comes from. I thought I was completely wrong. I did not know. I did not know it was Greek. Thank you. Now I know.
I know. Let's
learn something new every day.
Yeah. And we just had that last time we were there, and it was delicious.
Oh, yeah,
it's so good.
Come on, Carol, tell us about Egypt. What are you eating?
Okay. So again, I mainly focused on the table service, and I struggled because it's so similar to Morocco. So I decided to make it a signature restaurant.
Okay.
And so it would be sort of like a tapas thing where there'd be several courses. It would be a price fixed menu, and you'd go through like baba ganoush and different hummuses and the traditional things. Wait, I have my list. No, I lost my list. I have so many lists here. They had kushari, which is lentils, rice, pasta, and other ingredients. A mola kaira, I have no idea how to pronounce that, with okra and garlic and coriander sauce. And then for dessert, they had some really cool desserts. And ali, which is sort of a bread soaked in sugar and nuts and baked. And it looks like, you can't see. It looks like that. And then they had this other thing that was, I'm not even going to pronounce, Qatayef, which is Arabic pancakes filled with cream, nuts, and served with syrup and honey.
Sounds really amazing.
Yeah, to differentiate from Morocco, to make it upscale a little bit.
Smart.
Thank you.
I like it.
So for Thailand, I've got two different options. No actual quick service as such, because in Thailand it's all street food and it's all authentic, nice, cooked on the street, and it's the best food you'll get in Thailand. So I'm going for street food, and it's kind of cheap, but it's really flavorful. So I'm having street food, and I would like Disney to kind of do small portions, but at a kind of reasonable price. I know they're not going to, but that's the vision. So for street food, we're looking at fried rice, papaya salad, noodles with shrimp, steamed chicken on rice, grilled chicken and pork skewers, sour Isan sausage, which is their traditional sausage, stir-fried pork with basil, fish barbecued in salt, roasted duck, green curries, red curries, pork dumplings, pad thai, and even fried insects as well.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm not going to eat them myself, but they're going to be available for people that are weird and want to eat insects. Carol.
I've had chocolate-covered grasshoppers. Those were good.
So that's my first thing is the street food, and then the next thing I'd like to do is going to be an adults only dinner show. So Walt Disney World adults only. I want to do an adults dinner show, 2 table service credits when the Disneyland plan's being offered. And this is going to be a family style skillet where they bring a kind of taste of Thailand to your table throughout the dinner show. So it's going to have, think cabaret, Mai Tai fighters, sword swallowers, fire eaters, and ladyboys. So it's going to be like proper Thai experience in Epcot, but adults only. So it's going to be kind of like not X-rated, but kind of adults level. So yeah, and then it's going to be unlimited food, a bit like what's that silly show you like, Courtney, where they bring the food.
Well, I was going to say you'll do that, but you won't do Hoop-de-Doo.
Hoop-de-Doo, yeah. A bit like Hoop-de-Doo, but kind of out of the 70s and into the modern age.
I love Hoop-de-Doo. Sorry.
Doug, you start as well. So yeah, that's my ideas. Street food for the quick service, dinner show, adults only for the table service. So yeah, a little bit different.
Awesome.
I'm going to skip shops and merchandise if you're all cool with that, because we've gone over time. But I would just really quickly like to go around and just find out about your character meets, if you've got any character meets planned for your pavilions. So let's start with you, Carol, because I know you get a bit antsy if we don't go to you first.
Yeah, see. So again, I'm doing with the Aladdin theme. So Jasmine and Jafar and the genie and what's the little monkey guy?
Abu.
Abu. How can I forget Abu? My friend has a dog named Abu. And those are my character greets.
Cool. Courtney.
Well, it's going to be based off Hercules. So Hercules, Meg, Hades, and Phil.
I would love to meet Hades, that would be the best character meet ever.
I would just love to see how they make the hair work.
Yeah. That'd be great. Douglas, tell us about Australia. What character meets are you going to have there?
Well, I think because going on with my ride, I think you need Bernard and Miss Bianca from the Rescuers Down Under. I think it would be great to have the two of them. But I think because we're in the South Pacific, you could sneak Moana in there and give Moana a place to meet because of her princess status. And having a princess in your land makes you the best. So,
Would you like to meet Moana?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh. I love meeting. I'm weird, but I like interacting with them. They're fantastic. I love base characters.
Cool. Natalie.
So I'm also sticking with the feature of my ride. I'm going with the characters from the Jungle Book, and I'm thinking Baloo and King Louie. They used to meet in Animal Kingdom, but I don't know about you guys, but I've not seen them there in years. So it was used to be really fun. So I think they should bring them back, and what better place but in their homeland. So yeah.
I love that.
I think King Louie's now in that new Adventureland cavalcade, actually.
And they're in Kite Tails too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't go in Kite Tails. I'm scared of birds.
No, there's no birds in Kite Tails.
I'm thinking of the bird show in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. No, this is where Rivers of Light used to be.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I've not seen that one either, just because it's not been out since I've been and things. But I think a proper meet and greet.
It's the greatest show of all time. So.
Taylor says sarcastically.
She spoke so lovely at the last show.
I really love it so much.
Taylor, tell us about your character meet and greets.
I'm just going to go same with my ride. You're going to be able to meet Cusco and Pacha, and then Yzma and Kronk.
Cool. And for Thailand, we're going to have Raya as a character meet inside one of the temples with a photo pass photographer and a nice background. And then I'd really like to have a Sisu. Is it called Sisu the dragon? Sisu. Yeah. I'd love to have a Sisu for an opportunity, a bit like the raptor meet at Universal. Where they've got the little dinosaur, baby dinosaur, and it scares. You can kind of stand and pose, and then the Sisu could do things and make you kind of jump and stuff for your picture. So yeah, I'd like that as well. But yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for describing your pavilions. Some really, really good creativity tonight. Anyone got anything else they want to talk about for their pavilions? Anything they want to add? No, I'm sorry we've gone a little bit over time tonight, but there's so much to talk about. I didn't expect you to all have so many great ideas. So anyway, thank you all so much for that, and thank you everyone that's been watching. So what have we got coming up this week on our channel? Monday, tomorrow, we've got a Carol and Fran vlog, which is about Hollywood Studios. Carol, tell us about that quickly.
So Fran is so vivacious and energetic. You just have to watch him because I just can't keep up with his enthusiasm on trips. And
He's
to paraphrase him, Hollywood Studios is Hollywood Studios.
Thank you. That's tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we've got Taylor, your video about quick service dining at deluxe resorts.
Yeah, finishing up the quick service dining series. So this will be the final one. Covered every quick service option in all of Disney. So you can learn about the deluxe resorts.
I've really enjoyed those, by the way. You guys have done a great job with those.
Thank you very much.
And then on Friday, we've got one of Jackie's solo vlogs, and this has me laughing like a child every time I see it. But this vlog is about Jackie's farts and La Crêperie de Paris review. So I dread to imagine what this video is going to be about. But yeah, it's called Jackie's Farts and La Crêperie de Paris review. So I'm looking forward to that, Jackie, if you're still watching. Douglas, what's coming up on Carousel with Douglas this week?
We're doing right now a series on like mistakes not to make in the parks, and so we're working on that video. But I have also, because it reopened, I'm going to talk about why you really need to take the trek out to Animal Kingdom Lodge and go to Jiko. It is absolutely my favorite restaurant on property, and I'm going to talk about that. And I'm also and continue with, like I said, in the series of mistakes not to make while you're in the parks.
Cool. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, Douglas's channel is going across the bottom of the screen right now. So please check him out.
Hey, wow, thanks.
Check him out. Make sure you subscribe. Give him a bit of support. And thank you, Douglas, for coming and joining us today. It's been really fun having you.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, yeah, it's really nice. And hopefully you'll come back again at some point and we can come on your channel as well. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll have to figure that out.
So anyway, anything anyone's got to add? No. Okay, lastly, please give this video a big thumbs up by clicking the like. We'd love for you to do that for us. Please also subscribe to Douglas's channel as well. We'd really appreciate that. If you're not a member of our adult only Facebook group, please join us today. We talk about stuff like this, and I think all that's left to say is never grow up.
Never
grow up.